Flat trading session today in the market. The S&P initially gapped higher, new all-time high, at least intraday, before selling off back down to the 50 EMA on the 15-minute chart. We track this 50 EMA, which is the red line you see on the chart, for 0 DTE to 5 DTE type of plays. And you can see this basically just helps us visualize where the trend is, either to the upside or the downside. We bounced right off of that level today, just below the big 6,700 strike. That's where the largest gamma exposure is currently sitting, and that's been a big magnet over the last couple of weeks. Ultimately, we closed up 0.06% at 67.1535, and we've been talking about this dealer selling pressure that's sitting up here above 6,700. This is identified on our chart by this red zone. You can see basically 6,700 to 6,720 is where our dealer cluster zone is currently situated, and we did see a little bit of dealer selling pressure kicking in today. We're not expecting any kind of dip in the near term below 6650, so that's kind of our bottom, and you see that's also our zero gamma exposure level. So there's a lot of support in this zone between 6650 and 6700. Looking up the options chain, one of the things we've been keeping an eye on is volume up here above 6700, and we did see volume picking up a little bit today at some of these higher strikes. Nearly 100,000 contracts traded at 6750 and well over 50,000 contracts traded at 6800. The last couple of trading sessions, we've seen more volume coming in at higher strikes, and that makes sense as we are now spending a little bit more time above the 6700 level. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this to see whether or not a breakout and another leg higher is ultimately going to resume here in the market after we've basically been consolidating for the last couple of weeks near all-time highs.
Thanks, Anthony. Even though SPX, SPY, QQQ didn't do a whole lot today, IWM did put in the best performance amongst those indices. And you can see it took IWM over the whole moving average. And we also saw a positive move in GEX from negative net territory to positive net GEX territory. So some positive signs out of IWM today. This big 240 GEX cluster continues to hold so far. And we have GEX at 245 and 250, pretty well aligned with this upper Keltner channel, the purple line that you see just under where I'm drawing. So there is a positive possibility here for IWM in the next day or two. Now, I wanted to point out that we've had 2 0 DTE trades this week, both of them profitable. And we just wait for the right setups. We're not in the business of trying to trade for the sake of trading. And this morning, we had a great opportunity that we felt warranted taking some risk based on the GEX picture for IWM. So the way that we chose to express this was using a futures position, an RTY. So we ended up buying RTY futures. So let's take a look at our new time machine feature to see exactly what happened after we took that long trade in RTY. We saw IWM move against us initially, actually, a little bit lower than target. I actually announced in Discord where I would personally plan to add at the RTY 2450 area. And we only dropped about 2 points below that, and that ended up being the low. We ended up rebounding, and it didn't take long before we locked in a $1,400 profit. Now, for those that wanted to stay in the trade longer to see the ultimate GEX target fulfilled, that did happen as the day went on. And by the end of the day, we closed almost right at that 244 GEX cluster, 244.02. So IWM giving us yet another great example of using GEX with intraday trading to make profits.
Thanks, Sean. Let's take a look at AMD. We've been talking about a number of semiconductor names recently that look on the verge of breaking out. AMD has seen a consolidation pattern around that 160 level going back over the course of the month of September, and actually finally broke out today towards that big gamma exposure at the 170 strike. Look at all the volume that was here today as well. Well over 200,000 contracts traded at that 170 strike. We actually have an AMD position for later in October targeting the 175 to 185 range, and that trade is based on this exact breakout that we're seeing unfold currently. And so it's going to be interesting to see how price reacts around this upper dealer cluster zone at the 170 level. We can see gamma exposure up to the 180 strike. There's additional resistance here around 170. So I think if we can get through that level, further upside may be coming over the next couple of weeks. Today we saw volume at the 175 and the 180 strikes, and a little bit of volume up here at higher strikes as well. And so that's actually pretty promising in terms of the future of this breakout. We've only had one day so far on the breakout itself, and so we need to see over the next couple of days, how does price act around this 170 level? There could be some consolidation or even a pullback down to 165, but ultimately I do think resistance has been broken, and we should see further upside over the coming couple of weeks. That's our basic thesis on AMD, and some of the other smaller semiconductor names are also starting to break out that we saw today as well. So we're going to continue monitoring this position. We're profitable so far on the trade. We'll look to close out this position if we get any further upside movement and lock in those gains. By the way, you can track our trades in real time by becoming a member at geeksoffinance.com. You can also get a sneak peek of what we're trading by heading over to our community Discord, absolutely free. I'll put links in the description below to both of those so you guys can check it out.
Thanks, Anthony. Even though we took a long trade on the Russell today, we still have to be aware of the risks that exist off to the side. And in this case, the VIX is clearly indicating that there may be a problem that is building behind the scenes. And today, the VIX regained the daily whole moving average. So we have negative GEX up to the 18 strike. That's our zero gamma line. There was a lot of volume there today as well. And, one of my rules is above the daily whole moving average, that's a signal to be biased toward the long side. So if we do see a spike, we're still believers that we are in a buy the dip environment with the indices. So if we made it up to 18 or even 20, which is, I like 20 because it matches this upper Keltner channel. The point being that as we watch for signals of topping here, we'll be looking to initiate new long positions. One last note, zooming in on the 4-hour time frame, we do see that the VIX is holding above the whole moving average, the 9-period SMA, the 15 EMA, and the middle Keltner channel. And it looks kind of like we've consolidated for a bar after this spike above the line. So there is a real risk that we see a spike up toward 18. So, we just need to be aware of that as we go forward.
Thanks, Sean. Next, let's take a look at MSTR. MSTR up 4.11% today, closing at 352.33. The entire crypto space has seen a relative move up over the last few trading sessions. If we take a look at Coinbase, we had a big move up today. Coinbase up over 7.48% and breaking out of its recent consolidation between the 300 and the 350 zone. We highlighted this in our live stream over the last couple of trading sessions, and the gamma exposure on Coinbase is concentrated up at the 400 strike, and we're also seeing a lot of options volume trading at that 400 strike as well. So you're getting a 2-for-1 in this segment of the video. We're looking at MSTR here as a potential breakout candidate as well above 350. Not as strong of gamma exposure to the upside yet, but we did see quite a bit of volume in the options market at some of those higher strikes. For example, over 50,000 contracts traded at the 385 strike, and quite a bit here up at the 400 strike as well. I will also note that price did close above the 50-day EMA, sitting at 348.86. So this could be one that follows suit in the coming trading sessions for a potential move higher. And this is one that we're going to be looking at closely to potentially capture some of that move up towards that 400 level.
Thanks, Anthony. Let's take a look at SMH. And I have the weekly chart pulled up here. We've seen some of the semiconductor companies just go absolutely parabolic. And that has lifted the index, including NVIDIA, reversing from recent lows and making new highs. Quite a performance from NVIDIA. But SMH is right here for the first time since the April lows. We have price reaching the upper Keltner channel, also reaching the upper dealer cluster zone at 240. Look at this. The highest volume today was quite a bit lower at 315. You can see the light blue bar there is the volume today. And we're pretty far extended above the whole moving average, which is also at 315.23. And I just wanted to point out one last thing. Look at the largest positive GEX strikes that we see, 332.50 expiring tomorrow, which is Friday. and 340, which, is closer to where we are now. So I would certainly give 340 the edge here. So if we look at these two big GEX clusters that we see, 332.50 and 340, both not too far from the current closing price of 338.24, both of those large GEX clusters expire tomorrow, October 3. So it's a speculative conclusion to reach, but it's entirely possible that what we're seeing with the resistance on the weekly time frame with the Keltner channels, the upper dealer cluster zone, and this big negative GEX cluster next week, it's possible we see some downside next week after this very positive week.
And guys, we extended our special promotion a couple more days. You can get $300 off our yearly portfolio manager tier subscription. Use code September 2025 at checkout. We do have a few spots remaining, but we're wrapping this promotion up soon as September is obviously over. So definitely take advantage of it while you can. Members get full access to our gamma exposure dashboard, our option flow analytics tools, as well as our algorithmic trading strategies. And you'll also get access to the premium channels in our community Discord. There's a ton of great traders in there sharing their own setups and strategies. And you can also track our trades in real time as we manage our options portfolio. I'll put links in the description below to all of that so you guys can check it out. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.